I remember this one time I got a job because the dude I was getting an interview from thought that I was Bout That Life. So I was in Washington State and I needed a job because I was homeless. I had a homie that worked at Hollywood Video, which was a video. Look it up. I ain't gonna tell. It was the rival to Blockbuster, and I'm gonna be honest, it was better. It was better. Did y'all know that Blockbuster used to take already done movies and then edit them? Anyway, I needed the job, so I got an interview. The homie got me an interview, and I went and I show up and the boss is there and he's in a suit and tie, Latino dude, big dude. He'd been doing interviews all day and he was just like, oh man, all right, you the next interview. I'm gonna just finish smoking this cigarette. And so I light up, we start chit chatting. One thing that I have always been able to do is mimic people. I don't do it on purpose. It's partially a safety measure because being albino is not always the thing to be. In ADHD, I'm constantly taking in too much information. That's important to the story and you will see why in a second. So we just talking, man. And I guess he was going through it with his girl, his wife. And he starts talking about his wife, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of listening. I'm nervous, because I'm about to do an interview. I'm like, what am I going to say in there? What's it going to be like? Whatever. And then I'm not 100% sure what the situation leading up to it was. But then he was just like, sometimes you just got to stab a bitch. Here's where that ADHD squiggle brain ability comes into play. I feel like the average person at that point would have been like, the fuck? And for sure, that's what I said inside my head. But my ADHD and self-preservation muscles, they kicked in ahead of time. And what came out my mouth was, yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta stab a bitch, dog. I feel you. Remember, this is the dude I'm about to get an interview from. And I needed that job, y'all. And I got the job. I actually got the job. A few months later, we were having a talk, in the office, just about bullshit. Because he was a cool dude. He was actually a cool dude, other than the maybe stabbing bitches. But we were talking and he was just like, yeah, man, I just want you to I want to let you know that the reason I hired you is because you was down. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, man, when I said sometimes you got to stab a bitch, you was like, cool. I knew you was good to hire. First of all, I feel like it's important that I say I'm not just stabbing bitches. I think it's important that that's been said. I would also like to make it clear that I actually appreciate that job. That job helped out a lot in my life. I don't be out there just stabbing bitches. It facilitated a little bit of the decision to move to California, so I appreciate that guy. What even is bitch stabbing behavior? What would that be? Eventually, I think that dude ended up moving back to California, but he was actually a really good boss. Terrifying, but he was a really good boss. He reintroduced me to something that I learned as a kid growing up in Jacksonville. Sometimes when you hear something reckless, you just gotta go with it until you can get to safety. Yeah, man, I remember I was choking the shit out this bitch. That's crazy, dog. You a trip. So what you about to do? Some of y'all be wildin'. Also, he told me that, sometimes you might have to stab a bitch. I'm just saying.